So today's session is all about creating your ideal customer avatar. And this is something that you might, that phrase customer avatar, you might hear it being thrown around a little bit, not quite understand what it means, or maybe you think it's just for those really big name sellers. And today we're just going to bust that myth straight out of the water. Because if you're thinking of selling on Amazon or you're selling on Amazon, you probably already realized the importance of creating a brand. Back in the day, you could throw anything online and it would probably do pretty well. But these days, you need to be strategic. And part of that is creating a brand. It creates what we call a moat around your product. It's going to keep the competitors away. It's going to help you bump up your price point. And in today's training, we're going to go through all of that. And I've got some really cool examples. And I've got a bit personal here because I've actually popped in some niches that I've been looking at over the years. So, maybe on a side note, you'll find some cool product ideas as well. So let me jump in and start sharing these slides.
This is one of the I think one of the most exciting and fun things that I do that I've done in my business. I love doing and working around branding for my business. It's all about that branding for me.
Yeah, 100%. It is super fun. And you start to notice other brands, I think, out in the marketplace. Like if I'm going down to my local Westfield or whatever and I see something really cool, I take a picture. It's a mental note of how they did their packaging, the copy they've used. It starts to, if it creates emotion, I think they're on a winner. So
Yep.
We've got some, these are globally recognized brands. They've really done a great job of, everybody knows when they look at Apple, for example, they get a feeling of what that conveys. If you have an Apple product, it says something about yourself. Their branding has created that for us. So they're very iconic. We want your Amazon brands to have a similar response with your audience. And you don't, of course, we're not going to be creating the next Apple here, although that would be cool, but within your niche. So you've got to think, especially if you're going into Amazon US, you really want to niche down in your product. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to the customers that are looking for that product. You're really going to connect with them. So what goes into a brand? Kimberly, I think you've probably heard this too. Most people just think it's a logo. Like it's just something you slap on your package and you're done with it. But it couldn't be
so much more, because it drives everything you do. When you create that brand identity, which it really is. I've heard people talk about that. Your brand identity, you need to think about, if you were to sit down at a table next to them and start up a conversation, what would your brand, if it was a person, be like? What would their image be? What would their personality be? What would their values and vision and mission be? And that's all going to translate then to everything you do in all of your marketing efforts, all of your messaging, the way you write your copy on your listing.
Yeah, for sure. Often I'm not fully aware of branding until it's either done really, really badly or really, really well. My brain seems to go to the polarities of that. So it's very cool. I notice when I'm buying something, I actually have a moment of going, that copy just sold me. They use words I use. They're speaking directly to me. That product it's almost custom made for me. So that's quite cool. I just threw this one in here to kind of drive home the point. We both probably are very aware of Schweppes Cola and, of course, Coca-Cola. And when I look at those two images, and I'm sure everybody in the room does as well, how different you feel when you're looking at those. For some reason, when I look at Coca-Cola, I think of summer. I think of being at the beach and fun and friends and family. I also think of Christmas too. I don't know what they're doing there, but it just shows you the power of the branding. I look at the Schweppes Cola. I don't think of much. I don't really have any sort of response, but
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, to me, it's dark and you know, to me, the first thing that came to my mind is, Schweppes is, possibly used as a mixer. So I'm thinking, like a dark bar, or cigar room, or you're making cocktails and that kind of thing. Completely different vibe than Coca-Cola.
yeah, yeah, it's so
And
true, actually. I do, now to come think of it, I think of that as a mixer too. Um,
I know why they make you think of Christmas. Not only just the red, but their huge campaign. I actually have a T-shirt with the Santa Claus, the old classic Santa Claus Coca-Cola imaging. That was a huge
yeah,
marketing thing that they did in the U.S. and I grew up with that. So
yeah.
yeah,
But that's it. It works. And I'm just thinking, someone wouldn't go to the bar and say, "Can I have a rum and Schweppes cola?" They wouldn't say that. They would go to the bar and say, "Can I have a rum and Coke?" So
yeah.
even though it just proves the power of branding. And again, we're going to those really big macro brands, and maybe there's someone in the room that's going to create this huge brand. But what I'm trying to get at is the emotion and the power that speaking and identifying the customer avatar can have on your product and your sales. It does make a
Well,
difference.
and Coke has taken it to the next level. I mean, and it's different in different regions in the U.S. This is something that all of you from Australia may not realize. Um, but in the South, where I'm from, when you go to a restaurant and they ask you what you want to drink, you say, "I have a Coke," and they'll say, "What kind?" Because Coke has
Ah,
become a generic term that could mean, a Sprite, or a Coke, or a Diet Coke, or it's become this
wow.
generic phrase, in the South at least, for a soda.
Soft drink. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really interesting. It's like past the Kleenex, but it could be
yeah, any
any
brand.
brand. Yeah. That
Yep.
shows how amazing the branding actually is. Um, right. So I guess these are all the things that you want to have a think about when you're create. And this is where it does get really fun. I can lose hours, days just delving into color palettes and fonts. And I always find a good place to start is really understand who you're speaking to, who that avatar is. But every step of the way, like the brand name, there's so many times when I'm on Amazon and I'll be looking at something and it might be, I don't know, a yoga mat, but they've called it XYZ company. Have a brand name that either connects with the product or relates to it somehow. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I
and
see it all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and when you're going, and I know, some people may come up with their brand name themselves, others may go to some of the platforms out there, and get a creative, to do it for them, or run a contest and get creatives to do a lot. But it's important that you have to have a brief to explain to them what you're after, and that stems from your avatar. So
Yeah,
everything flows down from that avatar.
yeah, definitely. So your avatar is essentially, how would you explain that? Who you're selling to, who your ideal customer is. So
Yeah, you may not be selling to just your avatar, but your avatar is your perfect customer. And I mean, it's cliche, but it's so true, and that's why it's said so many times. If you're trying to sell to everyone, you're going to sell to no one. So
yeah,
you have to get really specific on who that person is, that is the perfect person and would just become that brand ambassador for you. And there may be
yeah.
other people that buy your products along the way, but you're focused on that person.
And I personally like selling to an avatar that I can relate to, or that I have a good source that I can draw from. Because obviously, if I'm, for example, I don't fish. I know nothing about fishing. If I was to create a fishing vest or fishing lure, I'd make it all pretty, something I would like. I'd probably scare the fish away. No fisherman, woman in their life would want to wear what I've done. So, I would be useless. You want to go to your avatar and say, hey, what are you struggling with? What do you like? What do you don't? So, getting close to that group is really important as well, because it's going to flow down into all these different elements.
Oh, 100%. And, I am 100% my brand avatar, but I have to take it further than that. I start with me, but then I build it out. And yeah.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people can either fall into the trap if they get emotionally invested in a product they love. They're like, I love it. I'm going to take it to Amazon. The world will love it. But we're all individual. We all have our unique tastes and styles. And, there's so many different things that can flow into that, whether it's, if I'm in Australia, if I'm going to sell in the US, I need to know what's popular in the US. It could be completely different. Even though we're both speaking English, there's so many cultural elements at play as well. So that's really important. It's really important. So yeah, I can't drive that home enough. So sorry for
Oh,
repeating
100%.
ourselves
I
here.
mean, no, but I've been in Australia for almost 12 years. I'm coming up on my 12-year anniversary. And yeah, we all speak English here, but I'm telling you, Australian is a different language. I had to learn some new stuff.
Yeah, I bet you did. Oh, cool. So how do you do it? How do you create it? Step one, what are your goals and values of your customer, not you? So if I go back to that yoga example, maybe it's well-being, flexibility, freedom, whatever it might be. What are their goals? What do they want? And what are they committed to? So if you were in that space and then you brought out a yoga mat that was made of highly toxic single-use rubber or something, not a good fit. It's not going to go down well.
No.
Like you're not going to really resonate with your avatar. Whereas if you brought out this beautiful, eco-friendly, made from recycled materials with beautiful mandalas on it or something, that is what they want. That matches their goals. It gets personal. They're going to click and buy and become that
And
advocate.
absolutely. And what I've put here, the avatar wants to have a beautiful home. This is just really very, very high level. You really want to get deep and really understand, what is it that they want, more deeper than the example I've put here. This is just to kind of start you thinking. And sorry. And really dive into those goals and values. What's important to your avatar.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then step two, where are they? Where's their circle? Where are they getting their sources of information? What podcasts are they listening to? What are they watching on TV? Where are they hanging out? Like all these different spaces, because that's going to give you inspiration as well, not only on how to market your product and brand it, but it can also go into actually helping you design certain elements of it as well. What colors, or you can really get specific and get great information from the environment that they're hanging around in. So, if I'll keep using that yoga mat example, join Facebook groups for yoga. Go to your local yoga studio. What are they talking about? What's relevant to them? And then you can get a feel for how you can incorporate that in your own product, your own listing, your brand. And if you do go to an agency to help you with your branding, these are questions they're going to ask you. They want to know. So it's definitely something you need to think about. Now, this is where
where it gets fun.
Yeah, really granular too. Like I love giving my customer avatars a name. It's really cool. You give them a personality. That's how I like to think of it. So, what's their name? Where, are they married? Are they single? Do they have children? Where are they going to be based? Create that life for them. What does it look like? That way, especially with copy, I find this really valuable. I can draft copy, whether it's listing copy or, my product inserts, even on my packaging, that is going to resonate with these people. So what language are they going to use? If I'm selling a hairbrush to teenage girls, maybe it's like, hey babe, or hey gorgeous, look at speak to them how they speak to their friends. Don't go in all at a different level is what I'm trying to say here.
And one of the things, this I may be getting a little bit of ahead, but as you go through these steps, after you've gone through all the steps that we're laying out for you, something that's really powerful to do is literally sit down and write what does a day in the life of my avatar look like, from the time that they get out of bed until the time they go to bed. What do they do? What challenges do they face? What is in their life every single day?
Yeah, that's awesome. Is this something you did for your own brand? Because I love
Yes.
your branding, Kimberly. It just looks so, it's so thought out. And when you see it, you're instantly, I can picture the person that would be
Oh. Her
using
name is
that product.
Amy.
Ah, Amy, I love it.
Amy Green is my avatar.
That's awesome. Well, Amy Green has great taste. So step 4 is where we get into, what's challenging them? What are they struggling with? And the reason we do that is to, overcome that with our own products, or, break down those obstacles throughout our copy and our design. So, you've got the example here, challenges they want a home to be proud of. The pain point is environmental concerns. I mean, that's a really obvious one. Don't create products that are environmentally harmful. If you're
Mm.
selling a product for that avatar, it's really clear. You need to be very clear in your language, what materials go into your products, that they have peace of mind that, yes, this is something I can buy with confidence. It's going to tick that box for me.
Yeah, and there's not always everyone talks about pain points and solving a problem, but I've been listening to someone talking about a brand as an example in a training, and they're talking about how they've got this avatar they've created. His name is Mark, and he loves to play golf, and he wants gear that is going to be really cool, and he wants to be viewed as cool and cutting edge in front of his friends. So that's not necessarily a pain point, but that is kind of a pain point. That's the problem that you're going to solve
Yeah.
by creating something that's super cool. And when he goes on the golf course, people are going to be like, oh, check that out. So
Yeah.
that's how you kind of get down into their personality of your avatar.
What I like about that example is that the people who are like, wow, whether it's a hat or a club or whatever it is, people that comment on it, he's going to say, oh, this brand is the best. I love this brand.
Yeah.
It's so cool, because the brand is solving that pain point. He instantly becomes an advocate for it. It spirals. It's that social proof. It just, and that's when you see these huge trajectories for brands, because they nail it. They nail it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
but then,
step 5.
yeah,
Oh, sorry,
what's gonna get in the way of them actually making a purchase? So if I love your example of a yoga mat. If there's someone who's really into fitness and holistic thinking and a holistic life, and you present this beautiful yoga mat, that's gorgeous and thick, and it has beautiful designs on it, but then they get to the bottom and they realize, oh, it's not made from recycled goods. Is that going to be an objection they're going to have? Is that going to be a problem? And then the next thing is, what is their role in the purchase process? Are they the ones making the purchasing decision, or is someone else making it? So like one of the golf example, writing the copy for a listing of this particular golf product as an example, they were addressing everything to the customer, but then in one of them they addressed it to the wife, and
really
as a gift.
clever.
You're already the wife of the year. Do you want to be the wife of the century? And it's like, that's so cool. So you got to think about who is actually buying it. If it's a giftable product, you do want to take into account that your avatar might be someone in the periphery, or that your buyer, your customer might be someone in the periphery of your avatar, and you want to address them as well.
Yeah, that's so clever. So clever. I forget the stats, but that traditional household, the wife, I think I read somewhere that, those purchasing decisions, that's a big role that they play. So you're right, having that sort of, when you're crafting things out that may be for somebody else. Yeah, really, really good point. Now, I
So
love this little spreadsheet. Yeah, I shouldn't call it a spreadsheet, worksheet.
Yeah, so you can find these. You can literally just Google and find heaps of these customer avatar worksheets, and it pretty much is just a summary of everything we've already gone through and things that you're going to plug in. And literally, go on Google. I actually have a photo of Amy Green. I really don't know who this person is, but I have a picture of Amy
I'd love
Green.
to see what she looks like one day. Yeah.
And but I have all of this information and more. I mean, we're just scratching the surface here. There's so much, we could go so much deeper in this. But this is where you start, and then you're going to expand on this and look at lots even deeper. You really get into these to a really granular level. You may need a couple pages for each of these.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, so many people go, okay, I found a great product, the data's backing it up, let's go to launch. And then they kind of go, oh, I thought it would be doing a bit better. And they've skipped these really important steps. So, that great product is going unnoticed because their photos aren't communicating to who would likely buy it, or their copy's off, or something about it just doesn't sit right with who would be the ideal buyer. So don't skip this step because it can be make or break.
Well, and even considering this when you're doing your pricing, that in the example of that golf, it's such a great example. It's like, the wife in the family does make the buying decisions, but she gives him a pass when it comes to golf, and so that part of your customer avatar, knowing that about your customer avatar, then means you can charge a premium. You can make higher quality products, really, really premium products, and charge more for them. But if your customer avatar is someone who's struggling on a budget and is trying to save money, well, then you might want to provide a quality product that's more economical for them. And they see it, and maybe if it's a little bit more expensive, they see the value, and you got to communicate that value to make them make that decision.
Yeah, you bundle it with something, or like you said, portray the value. Yeah, such good points. I hope everybody's taking this on because it's absolute gold. I wanted to show you some examples because sometimes in life, when you actually see it in play, it drives it home a little bit more. So I don't know if anybody's seen these. They're shoe boxes, or shoe display cases. You put your shoes in them. I probably need some. I've got shoes everywhere in this house. Two different versions here, but let's take a step back and think who is likely to really care about their shoes to the point where they want them displayed, they're see-through, they want them protected, and they want them organized. There's where I live, there are so many shops popping up for sneakers, and you got your high tops, your Air Jordans, all that. If I'm saying the wrong thing, correct me if anyone in the room is a sneakerhead. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do know enough to know that these shoes here aren't those shoes. They look like something my Uncle Bob's just stuck in there. He doesn't care about his shoes. They're missing the mark there completely. And also, what's with this brand name? Yitta Home. It means nothing. Also, again,
I would think that would be vitamins. I mean, seriously, that communicates vitamins to me.
Yeah. There's something. Anyway, there's a lot wrong with. Yeah, a lot wrong with this one. By the way, this is a really strong niche. These shoebox ones. They flat pack as well. It's ticking a lot of the boxes in terms of product research. Over here,
the other one, I like their brand name because my son would be the avatar for this because he spends a lot of money on shoes. I mean, he's FaceTimed me and shown me all of his shoes, and he's talking about brands that I have no clue about, and he's so passionate about them. The name is good, but he would like the other one better because he would want to display them.
Yes, I was going to say this one isn't perfect. I just wanted to call out a couple of things they are doing really well. That's their name, Supro, like you said, it's that language. But let me actually jump into the listings itself. So first we'll go to Yitta Home. Let me just load. Really bland. Nothing about
those look like granddad shoes. I mean, seriously, those look like my grandfather's shoes. Yeah,
absolutely. This one looks dirty. Anyway, nothing really crazy here. If I go to Supro, this to me should be the hero shot. They're doing themselves a disservice by having this one as their hero shot because it doesn't look like you can see through. People would be clicking past this listing, I can guarantee it, because they want to be able to see their shoes. If they switched these two images around, I could almost guarantee that their sales would jump, definitely. I don't know if anyone noticed it from the previous slide too. This is a pack of 2, the other one is a pack of 6. This one is charging a couple of dollars more. So that when you put a brand on something, how much more value you can add. And if anyone's got a couple of spare minutes, this video, the sound won't play, I don't think, on your end, but it is phenomenal. It has that hip hop kind of beat to it. Let me know if you can hear that, but it is just all the shoes I was talking about. It's spelling out the brand name.
That is so cool. Is that in the US?
It is in the US.
I just found my son's Christmas present.
I've actually seen some as well that have LED lights around them and all.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
But, I'm just driving home the point that they are speaking to the right customer. They know who is going to be buying this. They've put everything in place. If I was them, I'd switch those images around for sure.
100%.
And the other thing
that must have been taken, that hero image must have been taken empty, because it looks black, but it's clear. Yeah. If you read the title, it is clear, but they're not communicating. They just need to get rid of that photo.
Yeah, 100%. I also like that they're calling it a collection crate. So it's not even just a, shoe storage, although they've got those keywords in there. They're not silly. But it's a collection crate for your prized collected shoes. Like they are speaking to the right avatar. That one gets me really, really excited. They're also out of stock, which says a lot too.
Oh no, maybe I haven't found the Christmas present.
Well, hopefully they come back in stock soon. The next one that I want to go to is, and this is a product I was seriously considering about this time last year, shower steamers. I don't know if anyone has heard of these.
I've seen those lately.
Yeah. I didn't go ahead with it, and I'll tell you why in a second once this loads. But basically, if you don't have a bath, but you still want that, aromatherapy, it's really based on scent. You pop these in the corner of your shower, and it just does its thing while you're in the shower. So this one here, very, very bland packaging. They're both selling the same thing: Wake Up and Energizer shower steamers. So these ones are designed to, uplift you in the morning, really, really get you going. So these ones over here, instantly, the packaging just grabs my attention. I don't know about you, but
packaging
the colors
is gorgeous. Yeah.
When you think of Energize and Wake Up, it's those reds and yellows and oranges. It's that, very citrus kind of, that's what I think of. And they've nailed it there. Even on their packaging here, they've got little
citruses,
orange.
like little citrus slices.
Yeah.
That is so cute, so clever. And that would have cost next to nothing.
Exactly. This one's not doing anything for me. And just the name again, Body Restore is the name of the brand. I want to buy this.
I do too.
Like all those aches and pains, I'm instantly like, yes, Energize.
Didn't know I needed those, but I do.
Yeah, I really do. These guys didn't launch that long ago. You should see the numbers that they're doing. It's quite exceptional. So let me jump into Body Restore here. They've brought out, and this is another thing that I think is really cool. I mean, great infographics the whole way through. But they've brought out a whole range to boost their brand. So they've got, I think, a relaxing one. They've got a sleep one, something like that. But they're just beautiful. But if I launch the Chrome extension, and bear with me because my computer has a little fit sometimes when I try and have too many tabs open. Monthly sales, they're doing nearly 6,000.
Whoa.
$205,000 in revenue off that product.
What's the other one doing?
Well, all the different variations. I'm having a look here. It's huge.
Oh, no, I mean the other brand. How are they doing?
The other brand. Yeah. Let's have a look at these guys. I haven't actually checked.
That is such a boring package. They've only got one photo. They are not trying.
They are not trying. And the name, Twisted Tomboy Store. Sorry, what does that brand name have to do with it? They're doing 3,000. So,
and you know what? They're probably the products are probably equally good.
Well,
but just the packaging and the branding. I mean,
yeah. That name, that brand name, has got me in a bit of a tizzy. And they've got 2 bullet points. So if you're wondering if Amazon is too competitive to get into, This one with one photo and two couple of word bullet points is doing $3,000. So
Are they on page one?
I don't know. They wouldn't be for that, but they
Okay.
weren't far from it.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
quickly. So
Yeah, that's so bad.
food for thought there. I know.
Yeah.
I know. And the last example, and if anybody is a reliable education student, you may have seen this one before, but I just think it conveys it so well. The actual brand name and speaking to the avatar. This is a toe strap for cars. So I don't know about you, but if I was in a pickle and had to be towed out, I want this one. I feel like this one's going to get the job done. Rhino USA, big, bold print, the colors. This one, yeah. I don't have any words. But look at the price point. It's almost,
I know.
over double. And I'm sure
that is insane.
Yeah. So it's and it comes in that cool box with all the big stamps on. Like, this one just gives me confidence for some reason. Like, they've really thought about what people who goes 4-wheel driving and what they want. It's just brilliant. So I really love that one.
That is so good. That is so, and just the colors and the branding is just next level.
I liked their lifestyle. Like, they haven't got a normal car. They've gone and got the most extreme off-road vehicle they can possibly find. Isn't it? And
so
even
good.
The people, like, no smiling, it's serious business. We're towing cars here. That you can even, it's such a great branded product. And of course, I haven't checked, but I can almost guarantee they'll be using A+ content if I scroll down here. Or have they not? Oh, they've got lots of videos.
No, wow.
Oh no, they do. My computer's just going a bit slow because I'm live. I'll leave that to come up, but there we go. Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
And the fact they've matched the colors on the car to their brand, little subtle things like that, you won't instantly recognize, but subconsciously, it's all kind of tying together and making such a great, I guess, emotive purchase. Like, I want that.
Well, I actually, not that long ago, maybe this time last year, I rebranded. I completely changed my graphics. Well, actually, no, it was earlier this year. I completely rechanged my logo. I didn't change the name or anything, but I changed the logo. And it was just because looking at everything, and I literally woke up at like 3:00 in the morning one day, and it just kept going over my head. The confused mind says no. And if it doesn't tie together, it's not going to work. You won't pick up on it, but your mind will reject it, and you won't understand why. You won't recognize that it's done it, but it will. And this is a brilliant example of not giving a confused mind.
Absolutely. That's a really great saying, actually. They're telling a consistent story. There's no room for confusion with any of the three well done product examples. Supro could use a little bit of help, but I just wanted to point out, Eliza, you've raised a great point. Free shipping, that means they're doing FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. So if anybody is a Prime member, they can, over certain amounts, get free shipping. So definitely recommend using FBA if you're looking to create a product and sell. Whether it's 100%. In the US or in Australia, Amazon prefers those listings, and they're going to show them ahead of other products. So it's a great little way to get ahead. And you'll find in the US, I think most 70 to 80% of sellers are FBA sellers. Usually there you'll find. So definitely something to keep in mind. So let's flick back to here. Your bird's having a field day today.
I'm sorry?
I can hear your bird's really excited today.
Oh, such an annoying thing.
No. So Kimberly, I noticed you dropped some awesome resources in here, and some of them I hadn't heard of before. I hadn't heard of Brand Crafting & Co. So
brandcrafting.co, they're actually Australian. And if you're part of Reliable Education, Nick, it's Nick and Lauren, and Nick is a reliable student, and yeah, they're so good. They put out free content, as well as having a paid course, so but you can completely take benefit from their free content as well, and their free resources. They're absolutely amazing. Now, the Solopreneur Society, I will warn you, she has taken her branding in herself, her own brand, to a next level. And she is like, this is me. And there will be some swear words. There will be, one of her photos, she's pouring a drink into a Moscow Mule cup, So she's out there. She doesn't mince words, but she's really got some also really great free resources and some things you can go through to determine your brand personality. And help you kind of craft that. So there's a lot of free resources out there that if you're sitting here looking at everything we've shown you, you're going, I have no clue how to do this. There are some things that can guide you and help you along the way. And then Canva is, you could create a logo off of Canva. That golf example, they actually created a logo off of Canva. And there's a logo feature in it. And what they did is they found colors they liked in some logos, design elements in other logos, and text in other logos, and they put it together. So it was truly unique, but they just pulled the pieces from the other ones and created something like super fast. And that's just enough to get you started. And then if you want to go further, you can go to some of the other places like 99 Designs or, I would recommend 99 Designs or Upworks over Fiverr for that type of stuff. I think you just have a higher caliber of creatives working there. But you need to do this other work first. So when you're going to those creatives, you can give them a really concise and well thought out brief that speaks to what your brand avatar is and what your brand therefore is, so they can match that with what they provide for you.
Yeah, I've actually made the mistake before when I've launched a product. I went to a branding expert. I did a brilliant job, but I didn't communicate my customer avatar clearly enough. The branding expert had their own vision of who would be buying the product, and they got it wrong. So the whole branding that was done for this product wasn't quite right, and it irritated me for a good year or two. And it's only recently that I've gone back, redone it all, and I just instantly the change that it's made, both with sales and even how I personally look at it. Spend that time, make sure you get it right, because if you rely on somebody else to do that work, they won't do it properly. They'll have their own influence put through it, and it's not going to be right.
And I can't. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Canva actually has full branding templates as well. So it goes way beyond logos. You can get your color palettes done, your elements, all sorts of things. So very cool. Very cool.
And don't sell short. I mean, my product, the design on it, I had someone do it who I connected with, and we worked, and she created a logo, she created the product design, she created packaging. And then, the logo eventually has gotten changed. But before I went to market, like I literally had to have my manufacturer stop, take the design off, and reapply a new design, because I got feedback from my mastermind. And, it's really important that if you have a group, a mastermind, that they are brutally honest, because I had one and they all said, oh yeah, that's great. But then there was someone else in the mastermind who did a product, and they said, oh yeah, everyone said that's great. And I'm just sitting here going, am I going to be the one person who tells them that it sucks?
That's so true. You need
you got to have people. You need that honest feedback, brutally honest feedback.
If you don't get it, if you don't have that community around you, I would suggest looking up a company called PickFu. I've used them before, because it's like, if you take the product to your best friend or your mum, they're gonna love it. They're gonna, if you could present a steaming pile of dog turd, and they would be like, great work. You need to have that unbiased, unfiltered. And with PickFu, and it's very cheap, for $100, $200 you can get surveys from 100 people in your right demographic. So you could say, I want females between the age of 30 and 40 that have income of this. and you get to
Yeah.
ask
And
a
I mean,
series of questions.
yes, and the feedback you get from that is so good. And when you look at that, and you can actually have, a designer give you a mock-up of a design and put
Yeah,
two of them out there and get that feedback before you go to the manufacturer with it,
yeah,
and you don't end up in a situation like I was in. But there's also things like Google surveys, which those are okay, but you don't get to pick your demographics. You have no clue. I've done a few Google surveys, and I had some feedback, and I think I got lucky that the design I ended up with, my mastermind, backed up me on it. But
yeah.
who knows? Oh my gosh, sorry.
Yeah, we are live people. It's all good. So yeah, you
But
rate like
I have no idea who. No, pick Foo, F-U.
yeah. Let me drop the link in. I'll turn off
Yeah,
my screen
but
share so I can find it.
I have no idea if the people that were answering that Google survey, I mean, they could have all been, men over 50. Not my demographic,
Yeah, it would be like
not my
the
avatar.
Sup Bro storage containers going to, Grandpa Joe who, only wears thongs. It's you need to
Exactly.
make sure that it's going to the right place. When I use PickFu, I it saved me from making a huge mistake with one of my products
Yeah.
that I just couldn't see. And then I had all this feedback coming in. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I not see that was an issue? Um,
Yeah.
and that's what can happen when you're not your customer avatar, or you don't see the things that the customer avatar instantly recognizes. So
Well, and
yeah,
even
there.
me being, even though I am my customer avatar, to a point, I'm about to come up with my third product. Well, technically fourth, but one's going away. But I'm going to definitely be going to pick Foo with at least 2 or 3 designs, and getting the feedback. And because I can't give away too much information here, but there's something really particular about the way
It's
I
so
do my products. And,
yeah,
and, I, and it's like I need to make. I'm going to have a couple of options. It's like, oh, there's so many that would be cool, but what's going to really resonate with my demographic?
yeah. Isn't it frustrating? I want to tell everybody everything, and I have to just keep kind of like pushing those words back in. I really
Yeah,
want to
no.
tell everyone what was the obvious thing I missed because it's quite funny. But yeah, I can see there's a couple of questions coming in. Eliza, you've asked what percentage Amazon charges for FBA. So that's when they pick and pack and ship your product. It depends on what selling category you're in. So some categories have a higher charge than others. You'll usually find it ranges between that, what is it, 7 to 15%, I'd say.
I think
It
most. I
varies.
think most are 15. But
Yeah.
if you, here's what you can do there. And I believe we have this in our resources, don't we?
FBA
The
calculator.
revenue. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
go, just take
I
a
will get
product
that
from
link.
Amazon. Yeah, take a product from Amazon that's in the same area, and you can plug that in, and you can find out, based on the size of that product and the weight of that product, what their shipping fees are going to be, and what their referral fee is going to be. So you've got your FBA fees, that is what it costs to ship it. And then you've got your referral fee, which is basically their commission, which is typically a percentage of it is a percentage of your sales price. And I think for most products, it's around 15%.
Yeah. And I don't think of it as, oh, I've got to pay Amazon 15%. Like this is, prefer not to, obviously. I think of it as all I'm paying is 15%, and Amazon is feeding me millions and millions and millions of customers are on that platform every day. I would
Yes.
be spending, oh God, I hate to think, triple that if I had to do my own advertising and lead my own customers to a storefront. They're
And
on the
then ship it
platform.
yourself?
No, no. So
No.
it's the US calculator that you can use. ZonGuru actually has one as well. So if you're a ZonGuru user, reach out to support. And with that one, it's a little bit more flexible because you can plug in exactly your own variables, how much it costs to ship. It's got everything in there. So just reach out to support if you need that. But hopefully that clears that up.
But a really big tip, a huge, huge, huge tip, know what the Amazon standard sizing is and make sure you're well within those limits, because I have a product that I've just launched and Amazon classified it as oversized, because on the smallest size, my measurements, it was 7.7 inches and it has to be under 8. And that was my measurements. Well, they put it into this machine and it measures it automatically for them. And they came up with something larger. I requested them to remeasure it and they still came up with 8.03. So 0.03 was costing me $4. But, and I requested to remeasure again and they're like, you can't, you have to wait 60 days. But then somewhere in there, someone did something and I'm back to standard. So I don't know how that happened. The Amazon,
it's a Christmas
magic.
Miracle. Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle. Yes.
But just imagine what impact that would have on your bottom line if you had to wear, because when you've designed your costings, you've gone through all your numbers, you haven't factored on it being in that next selling category. So,
exactly. So make sure, that's the thing. So for my next round on this one, I'm going to say, all right, we need to have this side of the box, 7.6, 7.5.
Give yourself a bit of extra wiggle room.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, great point. You guys have been awesome. We're here for questions. If you do have it doesn't need to be about customer avatars or branding. It can be about anything. We are here for it. We will do our best to help, and I'm sure everybody else in the room will be too. There's always heaps. I learn heaps from the people that join our trainings. So don't be shy. I'll give it a few minutes because we do have that delay. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode.
I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun putting together my parts of it, and your parts were just brilliant, Kimberly. So yeah, good collaboration on the Kimberlys.
Yeah. I didn't do the proper intro at the start. We're both called Kimberly, just to confuse everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, I know we're usually in the same color shirt as well, which just adds to the confusion. Maybe we need to, we've got Kimberly in the black shirt, Kimberly in the white shirt.
I don't know. We got to come up with, I think at some point we'll come up with something.
Yeah. No, all good. And it looks like it's a quiet session. If there's no questions, we're here every week. There is live training from ZonGuru, so 10 o'clock Thursdays. We will be having just a couple of weeks off over the Christmas break, but we're definitely here for next week and the week after. Next week's topic, it's Amazon branding tools, I think, from memory, which is a really cool one because pretty sure, Amazon has all these programs, all these things that people just don't take advantage of. They're free. 99% of them are free, and it's going to be a way to really get your brand seen. More real estate on Amazon. I've been playing around with Post Publisher for anyone that is selling, and that has just blown away my expectations. It's performing way better than my paid advertising. So definitely jump on next week. We'll show you the ins and outs of how to make the most of those.
Oh, we need to talk about that one, Kimberly, because I haven't been doing nearly enough with that. So yeah, we definitely need to have a chat.
Yeah. It's so cool. It's like Instagram for Amazon. So I'm there for it. David, if you've missed the previous one, let me know if you're a ZonGuru user, and I'll send you the link where you can watch all of our previous sessions. And I'll email that one out to you.
Teresa, yes, you will need to book for each weekly session, and that way you'll get the email with the link, and then after the session is over, you'll get the replay emailed to you also.
Yeah. If you're a newsletter subscriber, we also advertise it in our newsletter as well, so you can see what topics are coming up. But by far the easiest way, I think this is a record for the number of links I've dropped into a training session. Let me find it. We have an events hub page where you can see everything that's planned out for the month and make a booking there as well. Because we love getting the regulars back. Like I said, we're a community. we're there to help. Let me find that one.
This has been a lot of fun today. I love branding. I could spend hours.
I always thought, you kind of think, what would I do if, Amazon, yeah, I love the marketing side of things. I just,
Me too. And I'm not overly creative, so don't be afraid. You don't have to be overly creative. You just have to, understand your brand, understand your avatar, and then that just feeds everything from there. So yeah, there's so many great resources out there, and there's so many great free resources too.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. David, I've got your name down, so I'll send you a little link with all those replays. Yeah, awesome to have you on board, and exciting if you're opening your Amazon Seller Central account soon. It's a whole new world. It's all there for you. All right, well, we might end it there. It's been a pleasure, and we hope to see you again soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye for now.